Welcome to our kitchen. Today we prepare ancient Roman ofella from the first and seventh books of the Reco Quinaria to celebrate the release of our new book, Early Italian Recipes, Meat, Meatballs and Sausages. We start with ingredients. We need beef, olive oil, garum, wine, honey, spices, black pepper, lovage and coriander seeds, and the roux. Roux can be difficult to find if you don't grow it. You can use another aromatic herb instead, such as mint or parsley. Lovage can be replaced with fennel, anise or cumin seeds, typically used to counterfeit it according to Pliny and Dioscorides. Ofella, a term referring to slices of meat, was a popular dish in the antiquity. Martial, in an epigram, describes the offelle served in his house as being so tender that they didn't need a servant to cut them. Whereas Suetonius reports that the Emperor Claudius asked rhetorically how anyone could live without offule, and also reports his habit of drinking in taverns, possibly hinting at the fact that this dish could be served on that occasion, in the same way as meatballs and sausages. To prepare an garum, which is a sauce based on wine and garum, we have chosen a recipe from the first book of the Reco Quinaria. We grind black pepper, lovage and coriander seeds in the mortar. Then we add minced roux, a little honey, garum, olive oil and red wine. There are several recipes for ofella in the Reco Quinaria and Vinidarius Excerpta, an early medieval source inspired by the ancient Roman cookbook. But there is no mention of the type of meat. However, it seems clear that some of the recipes are meant for beef or for pork, although others can be prepared with any type of suitable meat, including veal, mutton or lamb. This is consistent with information found in other sources. For example, in De Re Rustica, Columella, when describing meat salting, writes that it should be cut into a libra frustra, which means pieces or slices, called ofula carnis later in the text, meaning that can be used any type of meat that is large enough to be cut into slices. In De Agricultura, Cato mentions the preparation of ofelle puteolane and perne. Whereas perna means ham, it seems that Cato means that the same type of preparation can be made for slices of meat, as in Columella's case. We slice the beef and cook it in olive oil, adding the sauce at the end and serve it sprinkled with pepper. We cook it rare, following the directions of another ofella recipe of the Reco Quinaria. But you can cook it more according to your preference and the cut you choose. We chose a cut from the hind leg. It's not a cut typically used for steaks today, but it's tender enough to be cooked this way. Keep in mind that in ancient Rome, beef was a cheap meat, so you don't need high-grade beef or the perfect cut for this recipe. However, still choose a cut that doesn't necessarily need long cooking. To learn more about meat in historical cuisine, check out our new book, Early Italian Recipes, Meat, Meatballs and Sausages, which collects 108 recipes from the antiquity to the end of the Renaissance, for fresh and cured meat, including roasts, stews, steaks and many other historical preparations. The recipes translated from primary sources are accompanied by an extensive introduction on preservation techniques, animal farming, the relationship between dietary theories and culinary art, the use of meat in different social classes, the basic preparations and ingredients, and much more. The book is the third in the series Early Italian Recipes, with the previous two dedicated to vegetables and cereals in the history of Italian cuisine. The books stand alone and can be read in any order. A list of our books on historical cooking can be found in the description below, along with the links to our Patreon page, where you will find several articles and translations of historical sources, to buy us a beer and to purchase our merchandise. This ofella was amazing, with a complex Mediterranean flavor, from the spicy combination of lovage, rue and coriander seeds, enhanced by the savory and slightly acidic mixture of wine and garum, that was balanced by just a little honey. It was an incredible way to taste a very popular Roman dish, and to experiment with a different method to prepare meat that deserves to be rediscovered. If you're interested in ancient foods and flavors, subscribe our channel and consider supporting us on Patreon.